few years back, a friend and I were cycling in the mountains of Pennsylvania when a bear jumped out in front of my bike. I remember screaming, "Bear, bear!" slamming on my brakes, and then I felt the hair on the back of my neck raise, I felt my heart rate increase, and then all of a sudden I felt my legs pedaling extremely fast in the opposite direction. That is an example of a stress response. It's something our bodies were designed to do, to respond to situations to help us better survive. Unfortunately, modern society has unleashed a different kind of stress upon our bodies, one in which we are not responding to a bear in the middle of a road, but rather a stress that is omnipresent and always in the background and sometimes operating on our bodies in really harmful and unexpected ways. For example, a few years back, I was experiencing a really challenging situation at work, and that challenging situation led to really sleepless nights for me, nights in which I would wake up and feel my heart racing, feel the hair on the back of my neck raise up, and feel my mind in overdrive. It was a response very similar to having that bear in front of the road, except it was happening all the time. And chronic stress like that can have a really deleterious effect on our bodies. The good news is that by adopting some key practices, we can live a healthy and fulfilling life. Today I want to help you better understand exactly what chronic stress is, both the physiological and the psychological purpose it serves, and then I want to explain the origins of chronic stress, where it comes from, and what exactly it is doing on our bodies. Finally, we'll explore a few ways to help us manage or mitigate chronic stress so that we can live very fulfilling and purposeful lives. So let's start by figuring out exactly what stress is. First, let's cut away a common myth that all stress is bad. That is simply not the case. Our bodies were designed to endure stress because lots of stress is good for our bodies. We call that good stress eustress. Eustress is a type of healthy stress that can promote growth in our bodies, like delivering a speech or doing an easy or moderate workout in which our muscles are then forced to grow. Our bodies adapt to stresses like these by releasing certain hormones that allow our physical bodies and our mental and emotional bodies to grow and get better and be ready for the next challenge. But every human has a limit on the amount of stress that their body can handle at any given time. Our bodies, yes, are built to adapt to stresses. We stress our muscles and they grow, or we do a crossword puzzle and our brains get a little bit smarter. However, that can reach a limit. Just like my fitness watch here has a body battery on it, our body has a stress battery. And when we reach the upper limit of that stress, or when our body starts to exceed that stress limit, stress can become really damaging and even potentially lethal. Chronic stress, that stress that I was experiencing from work, is often responsible for pushing our bodies past that limit. So what is chronic stress? Well, chronic stress is a distress, not a eustress, that is often working behind the scenes, causing our bodies to become prone to a wide array of health issues. It is different than acute stress, which is a response like that bear jumping out in front of my bike that is often related to a singular event in which our bodies are now responding to a particular challenge. Chronic stress is different. Chronic stress is our body's response to ever-present or omnipresent challenges that are occurring in our lives. And chronic stress can take a wide variety of forms. It can be physical stress, like doing really, really hard workouts day after day. It can be emotional stress, like being in a really challenging relationship. It can also be mental stress, like taking really hard classes over and over, or being in a really cognitively challenging job. And it can lead to a host of health issues in those same domains, like anxiety or depression, low mental performance, and even physical injuries from which your body cannot recover. The good news, though, is that there are ways that our bodies can deal with chronic stress. And today I want to talk about two of the easiest ways that we can use to help our bodies adapt or mitigate or reduce chronic stresses. The first is exercise. Exercise can actually reduce cortisol, which is one of those stress hormones that our body releases. However, the common myth is that lots of exercise is really, really good for our body. And while this is true to a certain extent, it is important to remember that exercise also does stress our bodies and can actually release cortisol. So it is important that when we exercise to reduce stress, we do low intensity or moderate intensity. Sometimes we call these aerobic workouts, in which we're not taxing our body too extremely on a regular basis. Another great way to reduce or mitigate stress is regular mindfulness practice. Mindfulness is the art of simply paying attention to the processes that are going on inside your body, whether they be physical processes, mental processes, or emotional processes. In that way, it's very similar to meditation. It usually involves deep breathing and simply, again, paying attention to the thoughts that might be passing through one's mind at any given time. There are a lot of mindfulness apps that have grown in popularity, like Headspace or Calm, that make it automatic and simple for individuals to practice mindfulness on a regular basis. They even have exercises as short as 30 seconds to 1 minute that have been proven to reduce stress in one's life. Like a fine wine or a delicious meal, or really anything in life, stress is something that we should be enjoying in moderation. Too much stress can trigger really detrimental effects on our bodies. Physical effects like chronic injuries, emotional effects like anxiety and depression, and even mental effects like reduced performance on cognitive events. While there are no figurative bears around us in modern society has created, while there are no literal bears around us trying to attack us, modern society has created many figurative bears that cause our bodies to have this chronic stress response on a regular basis. The good news is that we can fight back against that chronic stress by practicing some simple things like healthy, moderate exercise and regular mindfulness to help us lead healthy, productive, and fulfilling lives. Thank you so much.